He's one of the richest men in America, making his fortune in oil. Now he is an outspoken advocate of alternative energy, urging the government to stop spending $500 billion a year on oil imports for this country's own security. Boone Pickens, chairman and CEO of the Dallas-based hedge fund BP Capital, joins us in studio. Mr. Pickens, welcome to Bloomberg News.
Thanks, Mark.
Sir, talk to us about your plan that you introduced a year ago to wean the U.S. off of oil imports by converting vehicles to natural gas. How's that plan going? How's it been received by the public?
Okay, it was a year ago today when we launched, and I think we've made great progress. First 6 months, you remember, was a presidential campaign,
right?
And we elevated the question into the campaign on energy and the dependency of foreign oil. Went into that campaign, and we got pretty far. And then now we have Senator Obama, now President Obama, in January, and from that time we have moved forward, and we've had a climate bill passed in the House. It still has to pass the Senate, and that has wind, solar, and the grid, 21st century grid.
Are you satisfied with how President Obama has responded to your call, to your challenge?
Yes, I think they've. If you think about it, we've actually only had 6 months, Congress in session, to get something done, and we've had the climate bill pass the House, and we've got H.R. 1835, which is the Natural Gas Act, which is now will be announced tomorrow,
right?
And the Senate, and it was announced in the House 2 months ago.
Well, Mr. Pickens, we should mention that you introduced your plan at the time. Oil had reached a record of more than 145 a barrel. Then it sank as low as 33 amid that global recession. Did that drop in prices slow the progress of your plan at all?
You know, I don't think so, but there was no question that it took the spotlight, shifted it away. But remember that it doesn't make any difference what the price of oil is.
Right.
We are still dependent on the same 68% imports. So you're importing just as much oil, you're just getting it at a cheaper price. So when the price is up high, it does have a lot more kind of a heartburn to it.
Back in June, you forecast that oil was going to average 80 to 85 a barrel in the coming year, and that natural gas would average about 87, at 7 per million British thermal units. Now the unemployment rate is kicked in, and that is a component to this. How has that changed the dynamic?
We'll be back up to $75 oil by the end of the year. Natural gas, I think, will be up to $7 sometime next year, $7 an MCF.
Well, speaking of natural gas, an incredible amount of interest in UNG, that's the U.S. Natural Gas Fund ETF. Why is that? What's going on?
Well, they're the ones that came out with the 2,000 trillion.
Right.
Yeah, 2,000 trillion cubic feet of gas is a huge number. That is a front page story which didn't make it to the front page. The reason it wasn't fully appreciated or analyzed, but 2,000 cubic feet of natural gas, 2,000 trillion cubic feet of natural gas would put us #1 in the world in natural gas reserves.
Well, is the amount of trading in this fund, and it's enormous, is that influencing the derivatives market?
Oh, the fund?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No,
Sorry.
I thought you were referring to the
No, I was talking about
Colorado
the ETF.
School of Mines report.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it affecting the price of gas?
Yeah. Is it influencing the derivatives market at all?
No,
do you think?
I don't think so.
Talk to me about trading on either of them. Is there some kind of flash warning that people should be looking at in UNG, and they should be heeding the interest in that?
I don't know. I mean, the numbers are huge. Their trading volume is huge, but I don't see that it's impacting the market.
Could I ask you about something that it obviously was something that started during the Bush administration, and it was your call for the country to wean itself off of foreign oil. That seems to be another component of your overall green strategy. Is the country listening? Are we trying to wean ourselves off of foreign oil?
No question.
Are we doing a good enough job now?
No, not. Excuse me for interrupting.
Sure.
Okay, but no, we're not. But people are better understanding the problem, and that's what I said. We've got that first climate bill that passed,
right.
And then you've got H.R. 1835, which will come out tomorrow in the Senate in Washington, and that will really reduce the dependency on foreign oil. Once it enacted, and when do we get the results? It's going to take you a year to do. Start to get results.
Why did it take so long for this country to get educated about the problem?
Because I never showed up with the with a guy that analyzed problems. Can you imagine?
But Mr. Pickens, you're not an elected official. You're a private citizen. Was it a problem our elected officials just were not doing enough?
But, Mark, I saw it finally as a mission. I felt like I was the only guy that understood the problem, and I was the only guy that had the solution, and I was 80 years old. And I had the money to go out and tell the story. And so I thought, well, it's your turn to stand up and be counted. And so I did that.
Green energy, green strategy, the president's proposal, any parts of it that you don't like, any parts you'd like to tweak?
Oh, probably several, but I don't fool with anything outside of what I'm focused on.
But you just said you're the one with the bullhorn, and you're the one who's been sounding the warning alarm. So why not?
Okay, well, go back to the reason I came on the scene.
Okay,
is the security issue. We are importing 68% of our oil now, and a great part of that comes from people that are not friends of ours. We are actually buying oil from the enemy.
So why do people not make that connection?
They do now, because I'm in touch with them. I've got 1,600,000 people signed up in PickensPlan.com.
Okay.
And those are signed up with me. And second, that I think I'm in touch, with 20 million people. So there's a lot of people that understand a lot more about energy today than did a year ago. And the pressure is coming up from the grassroots to Washington.
So you have a grassroots groundswell going on, but, you know, sometimes Washington's tone deaf. How do you get the folks, the elected officials, the ones who are making policy, how do you get them to listen?
Well, what does a politician think of first in the morning and last before night?
You know what, I'm almost afraid to ask you, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
It's re-election.
Yeah.
They want to be reelected. So I would not want to be an incumbent congressman or senator and say I did not have an energy plan. Because if you don't have an energy plan, your plan will be for foreign oil. That's the way it's going to be. You either have a plan or you get foreign oil. So you're going to have to come up, you're going to have to show your colors, you're going to have to be for something. If you don't, you're going to be tagged with foreign oil. And that won't get you reelected. Do
these energy plans translate into jobs, good-paying jobs for Americans?
Absolutely do. Sure they do. Can you imagine, though, you got $500 billion going out for foreign oil? You get not one job out of that $500 billion. So any of that we get back, let's just say we get back 10% of it in 2 years. Well, you're talking about, what, $50 billion?
Right.
That is a lot of money. That creates a lot of jobs. We could, in 5 years, get half that back. In 10 years, we could get it all back.
Before you leave, I got to talk to you about wind and solar. At what point will the wind and solar energy supplies reduce reliability, given that we have an existing outdated grid?
Okay, you're going to have to get a 21st century grid. And that's in the mix right now. That is in the climate bill. And that can happen pretty quick. How quick? In 5 years you could have. But you've got to get an oar in the water. You've got to get some of this stuff going. And when you do it, then you're going to have a lot better way to manage your power generation.
But we are playing catch-up, because you say a 21st century grid, and the barn door has been open for a while now. Shouldn't this have been in the planning stage? What's the phrase? You don't wait till it rains to fix the roof? Well, it's raining, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same one as a guy said, when was the best day to plant the tree? It was 20 years ago. Just in case you haven't planted it, the second best day is today. So you have to get going on this. We're going to. This is all going to happen. The American people are going to push from the bottom up, and we're going to make it happen.
Is this your legacy? Aside from the money, aside from the oil, is this your legacy?
I don't know. I'm just 81 years old. I could have something big come up.
For others to determine, no doubt. Boone
That's right.
Pickens joining us today on set. Mr. Pickens, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mark.